Greetings and salutations, fine people. I'm Patti Alvarez. Welcome to The Good Soul, a show where we'll have supercharged chats with everyday humans from all walks of life and unpack what in their story will inspire us all. We'll extract the untapped wisdom, distill it, and serve it up to you in all the right ways that will engage, enlighten, and most of all, inspire growth within your soul. I think people are awesome. So join me on this journey through the hearts and minds of ordinary people to uncover the good soul within you. This is The Good Soul. Hello, universe. Welcome to The Good Soul. We're on episode 22. This episode is entitled, Why the Arts Make Us Awesome. So let me elaborate a little bit. A creative life is an amplified life. It's a bigger life, a happier life, an expanded life, and a hell of a lot more of an interesting life. Living in this manner, continually and stubbornly bringing forth all the jewels that are hidden within you. It's a fine art in and of itself. Surely something wonderful is sheltered inside of you. I say this with all confidence because I happen to believe that we are all walking repositories of buried treasure. I believe this is one of the oldest and most generous tricks the universe plays on human beings, both for its own amusement and for ours. The universe buries strange jewels deep within us all and then stands back to see if we can find them. The hunt to uncover these jewels, that's creative living. The courage to go on that hunt in the first place, that's what separates a mundane existence from a more enchanted one. This often surprising results in that hunt. And this is where all of the awesome lies. So, in order to achieve all of this, we need people like today's guest, Christine Patterson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. I know that was a bit of an intro. I usually introduce my guests first, so trying something new
I
today.
love it.
That
It's
was
beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, that was our third take, everybody. So yes, it worked.
She did awesome.
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you. So, Christine, there's so much to talk about with you. I had been contacted. I guess I could say that Justin put us in contact.
Yes.
So, Christine also has a show on WSIC. It's called I Heart Mooresville. So, we'll get a little bit more into that later. But Christine is the arts and events manager for the town of Mooresville, which is, I think, an incredible position to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dream come true for sure.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Well, I say thank you for doing what you do, kind of in light of what I just said.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when somebody asks me for a donation and they say, thank you so much. And I say, no, thank you so much for making it
Right.
easy for me. So thank you so much for allowing us to be kind of artsy and creative and
Yeah.
funky. We're all so caught up in our simple, like Target and Starbucks, like kind of
Right.
robotic world. So it's nice
Yeah.
to kind of color outside the lines. So let's get a little bit into your history. Let's start from little girl Christine
Yes.
and where you grew up, and a little bit about your family life and so forth.
Yeah. So I actually moved around a little bit as a younger child, elementary school. I was born in Centralia, Illinois,
Okay.
small town in southern Illinois, near actually East St. Louis. I live there. My grandparents still live there, so I go back and visit every year. And then we moved to Virginia, the DC area, and then eventually ended up in Southern Virginia, where I really say I grew up.
Okay.
Can't-
Where in the DC area?
Fairfax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
We did actually live in the city for a short time with my grandfather, who worked for the government. But then we moved down. So lots of moving around as a kid. But
What was it your father's job that moved you guys around a lot?
yes, he worked for the railroad. So
Okay.
there's definitely, and he was in the military. Actually before that, so we almost moved to Germany, but then didn't. And
Wow. And what did he do for the railroad? Would that be working for
con-
Amtrak or?
yeah, conductor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So then we ended up in Pulaski, Virginia, Pulaski County. It is a very small town. So we lived, grew up that's two stoplight town, type
Yeah.
feel.
Was there a downtown or was it more highway?
No, there was a downtown, for sure. It was, the high school was very much about like the football team, and it was
Yeah.
it was definitely that small town experience for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but I had some really close friends, and I had a really positive experience growing up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always say that about my life too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel so blessed. Siblings?
I did not have any siblings.
Wow, okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. I know I have an only child until Manny and I got together. I had one, now we got together, Molly was 12 years old, so, I'm not opposed to the only
Yeah.
child thing, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually did. So I grew up with no siblings. I actually did have a brother. He passed away of leukemia when he was
Oh,
4.
okay. I'm
So
sorry.
no, that's
Oh,
okay. It's we are no stranger to illness in my
yeah,
family,
yeah,
cancer.
we talked
It's
about this a
you
little
know
bit.
it's something that's a part of life, and
Yeah.
but yeah. So I grew up as an only child, but definitely have some memories of when I was younger.
How okay, it's funny because when you said you were an only child, there was something missing there, and
Yeah,
I'm not at all surprised that you said that
yeah,
about your brother, that's really interesting.
yeah.
How old were you when you lost him?
8.
8, okay, so you
Yeah,
do, yeah, you obviously have
yeah.
memories.
I
Was he older or younger?
Younger. He
He
was
was younger.
4.
Okay, alright, well, I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that,
No, thank you.
but well, we
Well,
onward.
yes.
Onward, onward.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you finally got to Pulaski, was that high school? Was that, when how old were you?
I was in elementary school when
Elementary.
we moved.
Okay, and you finished out high school there?
I did.
Okay.
Yes, I graduated from Pulaski County High School,
Nice.
and then went to Radford University, which is really just a few towns over the college, where I went to. And I didn't do the whole living on campus thing. I stayed.
You commuted.
I
Okay,
did. Yeah.
cool.
I had great friends, and I still definitely got the college experience. But I went there for 2 years, and I got my general education out of the way, and
Mhm.
I was just kind of stagnant and flailing in a I probably had probably 12 different majors.
Wow.
I could not figure out what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, at the Priscilla Presley show, just you we I feel I so like feel you. I so
Yeah.
see you, like yeah, at the 12 majors. What was your what was your vibe? Were you a cheerleader? Were you like and I'm
Yeah.
just trying to connect it to your current career.
Yeah. So I was definitely creative. And I think, I did cheer. I, it was almost like I never embraced it because I was almost, because it really wasn't.
You
I mean,
didn't
I'm
feel
very,
like you
yeah.
belonged. Yeah. Or
And
not belong, but you didn't feel like
yeah.
square peg round hole. Yeah.
Right. I ran track. I love to run. I ran track and cross country all through my high school experience. I ran indoor track, outdoor track, cross country. I ran all year.
Okay.
So I loved the way that I would feel when I would run, and it was just
Sure.
me,
It's
and
a high.
I loved it. But I did cheer for a while too. But those were like my two things in high school. But I also, like, I did drama, and I did choir. I love to sing. I was in advanced concert choir
Oh,
and jazz choir, and I
wow.
needed an
That's one of my
outlet.
questions for you in, like, the 3rd segment is, are you a performer? That's
Yes,
so
I love it. Whether I'm good at it or not, I don't know, but I love it.
people don't say they can sing or they sing out loud if they're not good at it, so
Yeah.
I'm sure you're good at it.
Well, I really did love to create. So I loved writing. Like, creative writing classes in college were my thing.
Mhm.
I'm creative, but not sometimes not in your normal outlets. I love to build things, and I think events, I get to build them from scratch and
Sure.
create. I love ideas. I went to a leadership training class. It was really rigorous last month, and it was a leadership training, and I was actually in Charlottesville, Virginia,
Mhm.
and they identified my top skills or strengths as, and I'm an includer. So I love
Okay.
bringing people in and making them feel included. Positivity, relationship builder, like those are
Okay.
my things, and I think that goes along with what I do too.
Awesome.
Creativity, obviously one of them. But I love creating, and I love writing. I used to write poetry. I just all the things.
I'm gonna add what a beautiful note to end the first segment on. That was fantastic, Christine. Thank you. In the next segment, we are going to talk about more pre-more. So I'd love to get into Switzerland
Yeah.
and also why we need people like Christine in our community. So we will see you in just a couple minutes on the Good Soul. Hello, friends. Welcome back to episode 22, Why the Arts Make Us Awesome, and also why our guest Christine is so awesome. Christine is the arts and events manager for the town of Mooresville, but there's this whole world of this whole universe that kind of brought you here, which is
Sure.
I find to be extremely interesting. So thank you for sharing your story with us first and
Absolutely.
foremost. We left off pretty much where you're at Bradford.
Yes.
Do you mind? I'm assuming this is a no. You don't mind if I ask your age, do you?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I will be 40 in, like, just a few months.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's great. You're
Yeah.
hit just I just hit well, I didn't just now I'm 52, so I didn't just hit a milestone. But anyway, well good. That's
Yeah,
very cool. Happy early birthday
thank
to you.
you.
It's gonna Are you gonna do anything special for
Oh,
your
yeah.
40th?
Oh, yeah.
What's the plan?
I don't know yet,
You
but
don't know,
I
but
just
something
know
big.
it
Something
has to
big.
be celebrated.
Yeah. Yeah, we went like 20 of us went down to Disney World for my 50th
Oh,
birthday. That was a
nice.
lot of fun. So yeah, yeah, it was good. So anyway, okay, so you're at Bradford
Yes.
and you're kind of like took the what do they call them? Not the electives, but the
The
required
Yeah, general
courses. General,
education,
yeah. And
all the core classes, but really just couldn't I didn't find myself. I changed my major 12 times. I did psychology and business administration and accounting and what just wasn't me.
yeah,
And I realized, now looking back on that, I know that that was not it fit because it wasn't my passion. It wasn't what
sure.
I,
Yeah.
want to do. So I actually I've been working since before I could drive. I was 15. I got my first job at a grocery store, and I was always a really hard worker. I always
Me too.
enjoyed working.
Yeah.
And I started working at a country club, and I was waitressing through high school, and I loved it. I made great tips, and saving money, um, and then I started working in the kitchen, and I loved it. I just needed a break from waitressing because it
Mhm.
can really take a lot out of you.
Yeah.
It's very
People can
busy.
suck sometimes in
Yes.
restaurants. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I just wanted to be in the back, and I wanted to cook, and I didn't like mom was a great cook. My grandmother was an amazing cook, and I never cooking wasn't really a thing to me in high school, but
Mm.
I started cooking
So
and
you weren't
loved
like
it.
making salads and onion soups, you were like on the line?
Yeah,
No
and
way,
I
that's
would
great.
cook for, like, Rotary clubs. I would cook, like, big pans of
Wow.
food. Like,
Yeah.
the chef there trained me, and I was actually cooking, like, for banquets,
Oh,
and
wow.
this was in high school, and, I loved it, and so I thought I wanted to be a chef, and that's what I'm grateful for it because that's what got me to move to Charlotte to Johnson& and Wales and go to Johnson& and Wales University. I started out in culinary in the beginning, and I did actually got an associate's degree in food and beverage management, and then realized that that's probably not what I want to do. I knew I wanted to have a family, and being a chef is not always conducive to being a family if you want to
Sure.
be successful at it.
Yeah, no, it's gritty work.
It's a
Yeah.
hard life,
Oh,
and
we've seen The Bear. We
yeah.
know.
So well, while I was there, I discovered hospitality. And it was almost like the movies where like a light shines,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
angels start to
ah,
sing, sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
it was me.
Yeah,
That was me.
yeah.
Everything about it I loved. I looked into it, and I've always loved staying in hotels, like even when I was a kid,
Mhm.
and
Me
when
too.
going to Disney World, like I became pen pals with housekeepers.
Yeah,
Like
that's really
I still
cute.
have letters that I wrote back and forth with Disney resort housekeepers. Like I
Oh
loved it.
my god. Okay, so I have to say too, nothing is a mistake. All of those majors you changed, I'm sure you've gotten so many parts of who you are, and there are so many bits and pieces to the puzzle that makes you,
Yeah.
that made you kind of be able to do what you're doing now. So I firmly believe that every lily pad that you hopped on,
Yeah.
at the first school, Bradford,
It's Radford, actually.
Radford,
Radford.
Radford. My
Yes.
apologies.
No, I agree. I think I really needed to find myself, and it took me a little bit to figure out what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
I knew at a young age that what I wanted to be happy. Whatever I wanted to do, whatever I
Yes.
ended up doing, I knew I wanted to be happy doing it.
Yeah.
I did not just want to make money and
Yeah.
live. I would have been a doctor. I would have pursued because I had really good grades. I had the drive to do that.
Mhm.
I wanted to be happy.
So funny too. It sounds so elementary, but really, so many of us don't make that our primary mission. It's always money,
Yeah.
money, 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 no matter what. And I love that you said that. That is absolutely
Yeah.
positively my number one core. When I pray, I mean, of course, it's the strength, the courage, the wisdom.
Yeah.
Make me your vessel, and please, I just want to be happy and at peace.
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah.
be happy and at peace. I love that. Big Disney fan. Is what I'm
Oh, yeah.
guessing.
I
Yeah,
love
me
Disney.
too. Me too. What's your favorite hotel at Disney World?
Oh my gosh. What is the lagoon one that we used to
Polynesian, all the
Yes.
way. That's
Oh
my
my
fave.
gosh.
Yep, that's where we stayed on my
Yes.
50th birthday.
I
He
love
likes the
it.
Floridian. The whole time we were like, "I like the Floridian better." I don't feel like the Floridian is, like, kind of animate. It's not. I'm not
Yeah.
suspended in reality. Like you could stay at a Ritz
Right.
Carlton and it's a Floridian.
Yeah.
I know. Well, we live where we live. The Trump
Oh,
Club kind of reminds you of the
right.
Floridian, so that's what
Well,
here
I
is.
will say now, I have not stayed at a Disney resort in a while because now we, of course, get my Marriott discount or used to get my Marriott discount. So
Oh,
I
oh,
would
you're
stay.
still riding that wave. Okay, yeah. So let's move along because I feel like this podcast could be 3 hours. I have so much to ask you. You ended up in Switzerland. How did that happen?
Yes. So when I got to Johnson& Wells and did end up majoring in hospitality,
Hmm.
I ended up getting 2 degrees while I was there. I went out and I finished out my 2 year associate's degree in food and beverage management, and then
Okay.
kind of started over with international hotel or international hospitality and tourism management was my bachelor's. And part of that degree with being international is they require you to go internationally and learn. And we sometimes it's Argentina, sometimes it's Switzerland. I was really lucky that it was Switzerland the year that I went through because DCT is in International School of Hospitality Leadership is in Fitznau, Switzerland.
Hmm.
It's right outside of Lake Lucerne, which is about an hour from Zurich, so central Switzerland. And it's one of the best hospitality schools in the world. And
Wonderful.
I got to go there
Yeah.
and learn, and it was the school. I don't think there was a country not represented. I mean, just
Yeah.
kids from all over the world, Pakistan and
I love
India,
that.
and it was, or Russia, and it
Hmm.
was just the coolest experience.
Hmm.
And everyone would take turns making breakfast, from like their country. And
Yeah.
so we
Yeah.
got to experience so much just food and culture, and
Yeah.
it was really cool. So I got to do that for 6 months, and then went back to finish out my last year at Johnson& Wells and graduated, and it was just such an amazing experience. But I learned so much about hospitality and customer service.
Hmm.
It was very, very important experience that I
Well, I
had.
think too, with being with the mixed cultures, loans itself so much to your character and probably the quality of work that you do. My niece is now, she just graduated from Columbia with her master's, but she went to Northeastern in
Yeah.
Boston and during COVID ended up going to the London School of Economics on sort of like a reciprocity, I think is what they call it, for 2 years. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like, why come home? I'm here. It's the heart of COVID. She has friends like from all over the world. She's fallen in love with a guy from Germany.
Oh,
He
wow.
works for the EU now. They're very government. I think she wants to work for NATO is where she's headed.
Very
But
cool.
he works for the EU. We really want them to move here because I know my sister doesn't want her grandchildren to be in Germany.
Yeah.
But regardless, Leo's incredible and all of her friends. I mean, we would say like if Ava has a party, it's like the UN.
Yeah.
It's like there's somebody representing like every country at her
Right,
parties,
right.
and she's such
I
a
love
cool
that.
kid. Okay, so let's kind of bounce ahead now to, unless there's something more important, but Spectrum Hospitality. Is
Yes.
that where you landed immediately following, or
No, I had a couple. I worked for a few other hotel companies before, and kind of worked my way up through the
and what was
ranks.
like the job that you did while you were at these places?
Yeah, I was. So I realized early on that I'm a salesperson.
Okay,
So,
really?
yeah, I am. Have that outgoing
Yeah.
personality. I really liked it. I did end up later finding a love for operations, but I really started out in sales. So I worked my way up as a sales assistant, sales coordinator, sales manager, sales director, regional director of sales. I mean, I literally served in every role.
And selling what?
Yes.
Climb
And
the tree.
selling the hotel rooms.
Oh, okay.
So banquet sales, so the
So large
banquet
scale.
space. Yeah, so we would
Okay.
book 100-room groups at the hotel, the banquet room. I did my internship at the Omni in Charlotte, and got to rotate through all the departments.
Okay.
So yeah, it was I really, really enjoyed it, and I loved it because the people I would meet just from
Okay.
all over, that would
Yeah.
stay at the hotel, and getting to plan these very elaborate, Indian weddings, and
Yeah.
bar and bat mitzvahs, and it was
It's
really cool.
amazing. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's exciting. And just being around people, you realize that I think people are awesome. I say that all the time. It's in our intro. Okay, so real fast, where along this timeline do you meet your husband?
Yes. So my husband and I went to the same high school.
I love
So
that.
we've
So did
been
we.
Yes. So we've been married. It'll be actually July 7th. it will be 17 years.
Wow.
We've been married.
Okay. Mazel
Yes,
tov.
thank you.
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so we went to the same so he's always there. He's
Okay.
always there.
Sure. What's his name? His first name?
Steven.
Steven. Hi,
Yep.
Steven. I
Yes.
hope I get to meet
His
you. Yeah.
yeah, his birthday is today.
Oh my God.
I
Happy
I
birthday,
won't say his age because he'll
Steven.
be mad at me.
Oh, that's really
No,
cool.
he's really
Okay.
sweet.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Oh, that makes me happy. Okay. So, Spectrum Hospitality is out of Charlotte. I'm assuming.
Yeah, actually Wilkesboro, North
Wilkesboro. Okay.
Carolina. So they own Hilton and Marriott properties all over the Carolinas. They have a Myrtle Beach hotel. They have Wilkesboro hotels. They have Mooresville hotels. So after I worked for a few other hotel companies, I really wanted to work for Marriott because they had such a great reputation for customer service, and
Aren't they
they
one of the first best companies to work for too, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken?
they are. They're the largest hotel company in the world.
Okay.
They had just acquired Ritz Carlton, and
Okay.
that's really what secured it for me because Ritz
Wow.
was like my
Yeah,
dream.
that's where I wanna stay.
Yes.
Hang on one second. Believe it or not, I mean, the time it goes like whoosh. So we're gonna get into a little bit more of that. I wanna talk about all of the kind of nonprofit work that you're doing,
Yeah.
and then let's get into what you have to offer Mooresville because it's a lot, guys. So we'll see you in just a couple minutes. Don't go away. This is the Good Soul. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Good Soul episode 22. Count 'em, Why the Arts Make Us Awesome with Christine Patterson. We're also kind of coworkers,
Yeah.
sort of, even though we don't like hang out at the water cooler
I
together.
know.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, Christine also has a show on WSIC. We'll get a little bit more into that in a little bit. So we left off on our last episode or our last segment, I'm sorry, talking about Christine's first job with Spectrum Hospitality. She used the word Ritz Carlton. That got me to stand at attention. It's one of my favorite hotels to stay at. They say money can't buy happiness. I don't know. Go stay at a Ritz Carlton.
Yeah.
Go stay at a But the reason I mean, I saw Christine on stage. She opened up for a Q&A with Priscilla Presley in Mooresville that was lucky enough to go to about 2 weeks ago. But just you glow, you shine. My
Oh,
mother had an
thank
old
you.
saying, everyone is special, but some people stand out. And the microphone wasn't working when you
Yeah.
came out on stage, and you just well played. Like you were just so adorable. I would have run up and hugged you. It
Oh,
was so
thank
perfect the
you.
way you handled it. And I think through this show, I just want people to understand why we pick people like Christine. We all sit back in our ivory tower. We go to an event, concert in the park, it's too hot. Why don't they do this? Why don't they have
Yeah.
that? Christine is somebody kind of like Mayor Chris Carney we had on a couple of
Yeah.
weeks ago. Like we are just so lucky and blessed to have people in our town like Christine who care so much and create these events and really support the arts in our community. As I said in our first segment, how much the arts fill us up, make us better, make us unified, I think, in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. So thank you, Christine,
Yeah,
for
thank
doing what
you.
you do. And I'm never going to show up at a concert in the park or whatever and complain about anything. No, it's true.
I
It's true.
appreciate that.
Well, we are here.
Yeah.
Well, well, thank you, Manny, commending me on my little giving Christine props.
Yes,
Well,
very nice.
I also think too that, we were just talking earlier about you have dinner plans with your girlfriends and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I just want to stay home and get into bed with my husband and,
Right.
put on Bridgerton and not have to deal because my husband loves Bridgerton so much."
Uh-oh.
Joking. Joking. Anyway, and you go out with your friends or you go to see Priscilla Presley
Yeah.
or you go to an exhibit in downtown Mooresville and you come home, it's like traveling. You're happier, you're a better version of
Yeah.
yourself, you're a better lover, hugger, cooker, mother, and I love that. I
Yeah.
love that about the arts. I think we don't all have to be aspiring Picassos or Anthony Kiedis or
Yeah.
Shakespeare, to be able to participate and appreciate. And I think we're all creative in our own right, no matter what we
Absolutely.
do, whether we're arranging the way we place our soap on our bathroom counter or whether we are
Right.
painting a Pollock. So I want to read a quote.
Okay.
I emailed Christine yesterday and I said, let's talk about tomorrow. Tell me why you do what you do and what makes you special. And this really struck me. She said, I love using my background in areas of the arts to create experience centric. I love that word,
Yeah.
experience centric events for the community and visitors. These events my team have created drive tourism, so that also helps in commerce and quality of
Yeah.
life within our town, Lake Norman area, and have a positive economic impact. I love bringing activities and experiences to the area that are new and that people haven't seen for the wow factor. Again, so you
Yeah.
go home like, oh my God, I did the coolest thing. So, on the performing arts side of what I do, my team is able to support local artists and bring performances to Mooresville so residents don't have to drive all the way to Charlotte or leave the community.
Right.
I drove 10 minutes and got to meet Elvis's wife.
Right.
I mean, what the heck? That's
Yeah.
like
You don't do that
amazing.
every day.
Yeah, okay. So we'll work back a little bit on what you do nonprofit wise after. Get Priscilla Presley to come to
Yeah.
town?
So we, you know, going into that, I wanted on for the series at Mooresville Performing Arts Center this summer. I really wanted to do a speaker series, and I wanted to bring just really random people and just that
Mhm.
you wouldn't expect to come to Mooresville, but that people would be interested in. And so Priscilla Presley, I mean, of course, I'm a big Elvis fan.
Yeah.
Many people are big Elvis fans, but also
Uh-huh.
Priscilla
Yeah,
fans. I
and
mean,
Austin Butler and
yeah,
Riley, the granddaughter. I mean,
right.
they're
I
all
mean,
great people, yeah.
so and obviously she's very, trending right now because of the new movies that have come
Mhm,
out,
mhm.
and she was on tour. So she'll, take the speaker series to different cities, and so we had the opportunity to get her. So I wanted to start with her for sure. We have Celebrity Housewives coming up in July.
Oh, wow. Wait,
Yes.
what town?
At Mooresville Performing Arts Center, Celebrity Housewives. Well,
Oh, so from, like, random shows, not
yeah,
just, like
so Jersey and New York.
no way.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
that's coming
great.
up.
I don't watch those show I do watch the Kardashians,
Yeah.
I just never got hooked on the housewife
Yeah,
shows.
I actually am not. I don't watch the show, but
Yeah,
I know a lot of people do, and that's one thing I've had to learn in my role too. Is it's not necessarily about what I like; it's about
yeah.
what the community likes, and it's about booking a diverse, range of shows that appeal to everyone.
Mhm.
And so that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, yeah.
And so Priscilla was just something that was really, kind of fit the mold of wanting to bring in, somebody different, somebody that you wouldn't expect to come to Mooresville,
Yeah,
and somebody that was in demand right now.
yeah.
Um,
How many
yeah,
people I mean, every other person was like, "How did you land that?"
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
We work with we work with booking agencies and talent agencies from everywhere. So I actually am part of the North Carolina Presenters Consortium, and it's a network of other municipalities, of other performing arts centers all over the Carolinas and regional states. And so we all get together like 4 times a year, and we just present to each other acts that, we're thinking about, and, who we can get, who's on tour. And then we try to route with each other to get them at a more reasonable price.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
we can build them a tour if they have 3 gigs instead of one in North Carolina.
Yes.
So you have to partner with, other places to get the big people to come, because they're not just going to come to Mooresville because I'm going to pay them to.
Yeah.
Like, they
Well,
want
I own a yoga
to.
studio, and if we ever want like a master instructor to come to the studio, how it happens is usually
Yeah.
that like Southern Pines will call me or email me and say, "Hey, Craig Villani is going to be at my studio. Do you
Yeah.
want to have him at your studio that same weekend?"
Right.
So, okay. So, what other things? So, Priscilla Presley, the Performing Arts Center. What
Yeah.
other falls under your umbrella?
Yeah, so the arts and events division, which is a new division of the town. I don't know if people realize
Did
that.
you create that? You built that? They built
So
that position around you?
myself and my director, she created this position for me, which was amazing, a dream come true. That's why I say yes.
That's sweet.
I think everyone recognized that there was a need there, and there was demand from residents that we wanted to see more events happen. We want more community engagement opportunities, and that builds quality of your life. We created the division in 2022, created the positions, and a lot of my team that was at the Charles Mack Citizen Center originally, which is where I started my career with the town, kind of transitioned over because this was our skill set, was creating events. We did handle performing arts before, but we didn't handle all the festivals and parades and
Okay. Are you
special
doing
events.
4th of July
Yes,
parade?
yes,
So I wanna do a float for the studio, and we just haven't to be
yeah,
continued. We'll
yes,
reconnect, if not
we
this
will.
year, then next year, but I could see my husband driving the float and, me and the girls on the back.
I love
But,
that. You
well, I
should
have so
definitely.
much pride. I'm such a proud American, and I
Yeah,
feel like we haven't been celebrating our country, and I don't think we've been doing the service to it that it deserves.
Yeah.
And all we've been focusing on is all of our warts and scrapes and cuts when we have so much,
Right.
so thank you for and making it like
Absolutely.
cool. Like I saw the ad, I'm like, wow, this is like real. The
Yeah.
cool kids are going to be there. So
Yes,
thank you.
we are very we're very proud of our lineup. We didn't go into that lightly and just plan events to plan events. We call it planning with a purpose, and
Hmm.
it's about creating the signature events that Mooresville needs, that fill a need and fit a gap. And that's where we came up with the four signature events that we do for this year. They kind of started as part of the 150th anniversary last year,
Okay.
and then we had seven signature events last year, and we narrowed it down to the four this year. Now we have tons of other performing arts programming. We have an indoor series and outdoor
Yes.
series. So we don't just do four events,
Okay. So grab your
but
pens,
those are the big
everybody.
ones.
Yeah. Now, what are the four events?
So for events, Mooresville Day Festival. So
Okay.
that is a celebration, basically, of our amazing town. We wanted to celebrate all the things that make Mooresville unique and special.
Okay.
So it's very much about the businesses and local entertainment. You won't, you'll only see local performers.
30 seconds. Give me one more.
Then July 4th parade,
Okay.
because we are a very patriotic town.
Okay.
Dance, Brews, and Barbecue Festival in September, and
Okay. That
Classic Christmas.
Oh, so you gave me all of them.
All
That's
four.
great. Okay,
Yes.
awesome. All right, good. Okay, so we had something different planned for the fourth segment, but I want to keep going on Mooresville, the events, and a little bit more about you. I think
Yeah.
that the world needs to know about. So, guys, we'll see you for the fourth segment, episode 22, Why the Arts Make Us Awesome. Good soul. Hello, friend. Welcome back to The Good Soul. We're on episode 22, and we are talking about why the arts make us awesome. I started rambling as I do because I'm so not a woman of few words. That why the arts make us awesome, why the arts unify us, why they cure depression, why they're going to
Yeah.
solve world peace, because they just do. And it has such a arts is such a broad stroke.
Yeah.
So I keep bringing up Priscilla. I had been introduced to you prior via email, but Priscilla was the first time I laid eyes on you, and
Yes.
I was fully inspired by you and the town. When I had walked up, there was a table with people from, I guess, Parks and Rec is what you would
Yes.
call it,
Yes.
and there was a pamphlet. You don't even see pamphlet. You can't even get a flipping menu in a hotel and in a
Right.
restaurant anymore. You have to scan a QR code, which drives me crazy. I ask for the
I
menu.
know. I
Yeah, I'm
know.
like, can I hold my menu, please? But there was a beautiful full color brochure. It was like a magazine with all the
Yeah.
things the town has to offer. So I want to go through all of this stuff. And if you don't live in Mooresville, I still think it's interesting. Most of the people that watch the show, or many of you, are my friends and family who come and visit us. So you have things you can look forward to see.
That's right.
And then also, of course, a lot of your towns, and I'm sure you can attest to this, a lot of your towns have very similar organizations within, and everything is funded through tax dollars. Everything that
Right.
you do is tax dollar funded.
It is, and sponsors. We definitely raise sponsor funds and are so appreciative of our partners, because we couldn't do what we do. We would be able to do programming, not programming like we do, without sponsors.
Okay.
That's what takes it up.
Okay, and I hope that's not your job selling sponsorship to me.
It's my team's job.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah, we
yeah,
we do have a sponsor position though, so a
yeah,
sponsor coordinator.
yeah. Nobody ever likes asking anybody for money. I always
I
laugh
know.
about that. I love what I do at the yoga studio. It's beyond pays for itself in terms of
Yeah.
people investing. But even still, I'm looking for sponsorship for the show, and I have everybody pretty much lined up that I want to do. They're all
Yeah.
businesses that I use and patronize. But even still, I'm like,
Yeah.
by the way,
I
it's
know.
like my least favorite thing to
You
do.
know what though? This is how amazing of a town that we live in. I don't think we ever really. I mean, last year for the 150th anniversary, we raised $330,000 sponsorship money.
Wow.
It was the most the town
For
has
the
ever
event, like the
raised for the
parade.
events,
Yeah.
which was a huge undertaking. And that's how we got national acts like Loverboy and Diamond
Yeah.
Rio and all of that.
Yes.
So it was
Loving
very
every minute
amazing.
of it.
Yes,
Every minute of it.
but once now that we established this platform, we did not have to ask for one dime this year. Everyone came back to us to do it
Unbelievable.
again. So
Good.
we don't have to.
All
It's
right,
just
good.
we've built such great relationships last year, and they
Mm.
saw value in it because we approached sponsorship in a very different way. We don't even call it sponsorship, we call it partnership,
Mhm.
because they're partners of ours. and we want them to get out as much as, we put in the relationship.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. So it's amazing and it works.
Yeah. My local friends don't believe what you read on the internet, despite the fact that nobody knows how to use a blinker in Mooresville. It's an awesome town.
Yes, it
It
is.
is. It's the greatest town. I always say
Yeah.
I'm so happy I moved here. Okay, so we have the big 3 plus the 4th of July. So we have the let Mooresville Day, is it?
Yes. Mooresville Day.
And then Brews and
Bands, Brews, and Barbecue.
Bands, Brews and Barbecues, and then Christmas, what's it called?
Classic Christmas in Mooresville.
Classic Christmas. And that's what, early December, Classic
Yeah,
Christmas?
December 13th. And it's that very like Hallmark feel on Main Street. We have
Yeah.
such a beautiful Main Street.
Yeah.
And we make it snow.
Yes, they make it snow. Okay, and then the 4th of July, but I have a really serious question.
Yeah.
Can you get me into the Christmas bar? Do you have any ins? Because I feel like
Ah,
there's like a 4-hour wait every time we go
I
there.
know.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll have
yeah.
to see what I
I'm
can
only kidding.
do.
I'm only I don't
See if I have any connections.
I know people in high
Miracle
places.
Bar.
Well, we actually were there for drinks. We went, God, what was it? Probably like 2 months ago, and we had such a great time. And that the band was there, and I asked the big Southern guy with the beard and the overalls to play me Beyonce.
Yes,
He
yes.
was laughing.
Well, we brought down a journalist from Visit North Carolina
Mhm.
for the classic Christmas, and we barely could get her in to even do
Amazing.
a story on it. So it's
Yeah,
very busy.
it's very impressive though. That's very exciting. So tell me a little bit more. We have the indoor concert series, Rock the Park.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
So we are busy all year round. So in addition to our three festivals and our large parade, we have an indoor concert series that runs in the fall through the spring, once a month shows that are ticketed events. We have the free outdoor concert series, Rock the Park at Liberty Park. We do comedy series in the spring. We
Where are the
have
comedy shows?
Jovi Knox Auditorium at the
Okay.
Charles Mack Edison Center.
Okay, cool.
Symphony Under the Stars, that's coming up October 4th.
Okay.
That's at Liberty Park.
I'm writing that down.
And then we do just kind of sporadic programming throughout the year at the Mooresville Performing Arts Center. That is our really where we would like to bring more national acts.
Mhm.
We have such a large seating capacity there at 1,600 that we can do some larger things.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is a
Very
gorgeous
impressive. Well,
facility.
we just went to the Dove House fundraiser at the Charles Mack Center. I was just so impressed.
Yeah, they
Were
do a
you at
great
that
job.
event by any chance?
I'm usually am. I wasn't
Yeah.
at this one, but I normally am. They do such an amazing job, and what a great organization too, and
Amazing.
what they do is.
Yeah.
I've been to some of their luncheons too.
Yeah. Amy Stevens. So Cindy Bishop is one of my dearest friends. I would say one of the
Yeah.
greatest parts of my move to Mooresville. But I am so impressed at the way they laid out that event. I mean, we
Yes.
walked in, they took our picture, they handed us a champagne. We walked upstairs. They had a brief, moving, and very powerful presentation
Yeah.
on a young girl who was abused and sadly lost her mother. And and then they had the auction. They I love this trick. They put the espresso bar at the back. The espresso martini bar at the back of the auction tables. So you had to
You had
walk
to walk.
through the auction. I'm like,
That's
brilliant. That
smart.
was brilliant. It was really smart, but it was just so well laid out. And again, it just makes me so proud to live here. And like,
Mm.
I mean this truly from the bottom of my heart. I so love what you guys do. What, we do it at the yoga studio. They do it at Whole Foods to bring people together.
Yeah.
When I hear of the people that I love that are the angriest about politics or
Mm.
saddest about the state of the world, they're the people who don't want to leave the house
Right.
and find every reason in the world to stay
Yeah.
home. I heard this is a funny story, and I'm kind of going off topic here, but I just recently saw a meme about, and somebody said this to me in the lobby recently about a civil war,
Yeah.
and they said on the meme, they said, "Civil War? We can't even get Americans to get out of their car to go get their
Right.
groceries,
Right.
or they Uber Eats their McDonald's to the house.
Yeah. Nobody's.
Civil War over what?
That's
Mind
funny.
you, none of our presidential candidates are threatening genocide or anything that would
Right.
warrant us having a civil war, but that's a whole
Yeah.
nother topic. But I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
So, but
No, you're right. We do have such a great community, and I think that's why I love doing what I do because it does create those community engagement opportunities. And
yeah,
and we're able to actually support other events too. So just because we're not hosting it, events like Dove House and events like Guardians of the Children that happened on Sunday in downtown Mooresville, we actually handle the permitting, the special event permitting program too, so we can help build and grow events that are from third party organizations as well.
Yes, absolutely. I read something in your bio, a term social capital.
Yes.
Can you tell me briefly about what that means
Yeah.
to you?
So that's really what we do, right? So social capital is the stuff that makes people want to live, work, play, stay here, visit. That's what we're building. It's the quality of life. Life
Mhm.
is short, and I feel like our team is tasked with one of the most important things, and it's creating experiences for people that they wouldn't normally get. And everything from having a Make-A-Wish child come to a Priscilla Presley concert and getting his dreams came true,
Goosebumps.
meeting Elvis's wife,
Yeah.
to just providing the experience that a child got to see a 9 foot tall robot on Main Street and, was just mind blown.
Yeah.
Um, to getting to see national acts like, nostalgia from your 80s and get to see Loverboy right in your hometown. And, it's just that. That is what we do, creating those experiences. And some of them are really profound, and it's through art and, music, the universal language that,
Mhm.
everyone can connect to. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's through, more cheesy things like stilt walkers, but it's
Yeah.
all experience based
Yeah.
and it's all important.
Well, I love
So I
what you
love it.
said too. I love what you said too on when we were kind of doing prep work. Is it's not only about. Oh no, you did say it in the second segment. It's not only about what you like
Right.
necessarily, and we have to be able to kind of separate ourselves. I also love. I'm big on. It's the whole reason we're doing this show. I'm big on unity. I'm
Yeah.
big on. I just came from New Orleans where I looked every shape, size, color, gender, sexual orientation, religious background in the eye. We laughed together. We broke bread together. We
Yeah.
danced together. We enjoyed the beauty of that city together. And as I always say, and then I get to come home to my home and my husband and just love and embrace my life
Yeah.
and my doggies so much more. And again, it's people like you. It's not only the creatives but the catalysts for creativity
Yeah.
that really are going to help to determine our quality of life. And to be quite honest with you, almost like the direction this country is going in.
Right.
What are we going to do? How are we going to spend our spare time? How are we going to share? One other thing I want to touch on, and we have less than a minute, is your son.
Yeah.
His name is
Silas.
Silas, and he was born with, I guess,
A genetic condition, yes. He is our little medically complex warrior. He spent a year and a half in a children's hospital, but is doing great. He received a liver transplant and open heart surgery last year. But I am inspired by him every day. I mean, he is truly amazing. But he's doing great now. But definitely had a
okay.
challenging year.
Well, Christine, I am inspired by you.
Thank
And
you.
you are truly amazing. And we are absolutely like, before you leave today, I want to pick a date to have you back on the show because
Awesome.
I would love to talk about that experience. So, beyond all that she's doing for us, she has a whole world and a whole kind of a major, 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 I guess, task
Yeah.
when you get home. And
I
I
have a
mean, guys,
team at home too.
and a team at home that's making all of this happen. So again, guys, and some of us sometimes some days it's hard to get out of bed and make way to Harris Teeter and look at all you're accomplishing. So thank
Oh,
you for inspiring us
thank
every
you.
day. Guys, if you fell in love with Christine the way I did and can't get enough of her, you can catch her on WSIC Tuesdays from 11 to 12 on iHeart Mooresville. I
Yeah.
know I'm going to start watching and
Thank
hopefully you'll have
you.
me on your show. Yeah, I want to
Absolutely.
be on your show too. Guys, you can also catch us on the Good Soul WSIC Tuesdays from 4 to 5 p.m. or always on all of your major platforms at any time on demand. So, guys, thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Again, get out, connect with one another. Yes, you can hug one another. Yes, you can shake hands. People are awesome. Don't you forget about it. And we'll see you the next time on The Good Soul. Love you guys. Mean it.